The Charlo doubleheader on Showtime pay-per-view, prices revealed, and old media is mad. They trying to sabotage the Charlo brothers. Let me explain. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to my channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. Make sure you guys go ahead and smash the like button. Now, I got to get this off my chest. New media, digital mob. I noticed a lot of this energy on Twitter. We have Showtime with the incredible schedule that they have released, courtesy of Showtime, Steven Espinoza, Showtime Boxing, CBS, and of course Al Heyman and PBC. Erickson Lubin versus Terrell Goucher. That's a great next level fight for the winner. You know, they can definitely be in the talks for any top fight after that, whoever wins that. And we also have coming up the Charlo brothers. They have a doubleheader, and that's going to be on Showtime pay-per-view. Now, if you guys look at this, you'll see on Twitter right now, what does it say? Dan Rafael, who is a boxing writer, longtime writer, says September 26th Showtime doubleheader. It has 6 total bouts, 3 short break, 3 more. Each bout looks interesting. 2 bouts, main event bouts, are Jamal Charlo Derevyanchenko. Amazing fight, 160 pound. And it really should be a unification because Derevyanchenko, as we all know, beat Golovkin. He just got robbed by the judges. And it says he spelled it wrong. He said Jamal twice. So that's a rookie error from Rayfield. He says Jamal Charlo Rosario, but it should be Jermell Charlo. But he was probably in such a rush to hate and put this poll up. So that's probably why he confused the two brothers. But we'll omit the spelling errors. The other fight is obviously Jermell versus Rosario in a 3-belt 154. You know, so nothing. It just sounds like kind of an announcement tweet. But at the end, they tell you the price, $74.95. You buying? And they turn it into a poll. And the options are yes, no, maybe, I want to, but it's too expensive. So I got the email too. Showtime, you know, basically they all sent an email to the media announcing the official price point. And I can confirm from my email that the price point is $74.95. And the point I'm making is this. There's a lot of people who are now trying to complain and bemoan that the Charlo doubleheader with a great undercard, they're trying to paint this narrative that is too expensive. Like I tell you on my channel, New Media, this is perpetually and constantly what you see black fighters up against. In the UFC, they had Amanda Nunes versus whoever that was on ESPN pay-per-view. It didn't do good numbers, but you didn't see UFC fans putting up, all these tweets, and you damn sure didn't see UFC media berating the fight or any of the other UFC fights. Like, they have a couple UFC fights. This is a fact. UFC has had, I believe, one second. I believe UFC has had about four fights where the main events were coming off of losses. About 4. I seen this stat the other day. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up real quick. If not, I'll just keep going. But there's a lot of tweets. Yeah, I'm gonna skip it. But basically, they've had, here it is. Boom, I got it. Jed Goodman says UFC on ESPN Plus. Waterson Hill is the 4th UFC event this year to have a main event with both fighters coming off of losses. And one of the fights mentioned was a pay-per-view. That was UFC 246, Conor McGregor versus Donald Cowboy Cerrone. Both Conor McGregor and Cowboy Cerrone were off of losses, but that was your main event. Charlos are undefeated. They're charismatic. Yet, as you see on the screen, you see all this boxing media energy, and they're putting up all these polls. Let's keep going. So The Athletic Boxing. Showtime announces its September 26th pay-per-view with Jermell Charlo, Charlo, Jamal and Derevchenko. It'll cost you $75. Will you buy it? Yes, no, undecided. Fight Hub TV. Showtime announced the price of the Charlo pay-per-view, $75. What do y'all think? Too high for the times right now, or worth it given the fights we're getting? And it's funny because The Athletic has a writer for their boxing department, Mike Coppinger. He used to work for PBC. And then Fight Hub has Marcos, and he works for Fox. So it's just ironic that this is just a fraction of it on Twitter right now today. They announced the prices, and if I didn't know any better, it looks like somebody is soliciting this. Like, why is everyone asking this question? Why is everyone doing polls on if it's worth it? As a boxing media person, why do you care if it does well or if it flops? Unless you're Showtime, Steven Espinoza, CBS, Jermell or Jamal Charlo, or a fighter, or you have a fighter on the card, why would boxing media make it their business to not? Everyone's saying it's a great card, but why not just promote the fight? Why are we complaining on the price and, because people are trying to get reactions and sabotage the Charlo brothers? That's what I believe. That's why they're bringing it up and trying to stir up, drum up controversy. Listen, the bottom line is these are good fights. These are really good fights. Everybody's saying the fight is good, but we're sitting up here talking about the price point. So this is the doubleheader. September means back-to-back boxing. So the doubleheader's at the bottom. Jamal and his brother Jermell. Why wouldn't you support? And once again, this is what I noticed, that this is the energy when it comes to old media, especially towards black fighters. It's like, look, 16 days to go, Showtime pay-per-view, 2 main events, 6 fights, 7 total titles, and 2 lions. Look, this is a great card, and people are worried about the price point. Listen, you never, just from me to you never devalue your brand based on what others think, right? For my channel, I started in the boxing digital space. I have the outro where I asked if you want to join the movement or support the movement, you can donate. When I did that, people laughed. Oh, he's broke. Oh, he's homeless. He lives in his basement and, all this stuff. He's a panhandler. But I have belief in my brand. So I knew people would support, and they did. You don't see people asking Michael Jordan to come down in prices and think of all these alternatives. Like, oh, why are your shoes $150, $200? If there's sneakerheads out there that want to collect them and there's a whole culture behind it, then people are going to pay for what they like and what they want to pay for. But you see every time, especially as a black fighter, and usually with American fighters, instead of just doing like the Beatles said and let it be, people are griping about, is 75 too much money? Never devalue your brand. They're like, oh, it's a pandemic. Oh, will you pay for that? People can vote and say whatever. We're going to see what the numbers are, what Jamal and Jermell Charlo can produce. But beyond that, my problem is, it's like, why does boxing media and fans care? It's either going to do good or it's going to do bad. The card itself, we get away from what this is supposed to be about. Great fights. You look at right there. 2 great fighters, 2 undefeated fighters. Really should be 2 unifications, but they jobbed Derevchenko. You got Brandon Figueroa, Vasquez, Casemiro. He's in a tough fight. You have Luis Neri. There's future fights you can build right there. You have Daniel Roman and Payano. There's good fights here. That's what this is supposed to be about, not metrics and stuff. That's supposed to be see how people are trying to shift the narratives and the conversation in boxing. Talk more about fighters' purses and, how much pay-per-view is going to do. Let's talk about how this is a great fight. That's my suggestion. And if you're boxing media and this is your number one concern for a great card, then I ask why. Why is that your number one concern? So it looks like somebody, I don't know, Eddie Hearn paying people again to try to hate on the Charlos and drum up controversy. Listen, people are going to support great fights. Tank's in a good fight. Support it. Listen, on my channel, I'm saying support all these fights because that's how we keep them coming. Support them. Buy them. Buy the Charlo. I will be buying the Charlo pay-per-view for sure. And the sad thing is there's a lot of fakeness and phony stuff in the boxing game where people will stack the deck against you and bring up these unnecessary narratives. But then when they see these fighters, you know, they'll ask for an interview or they'll try to phone them up and do, you know, an article about them. But you want to see them fail because instead of what this is supposed to be about, a great fight and a great card, the Charlo brothers daring to be great, you know, daring to be great, showing that they both willing to risk it all. These are losable and winnable fights for everybody involved in that main event. But somehow in this digital space, people are trying to convolute the message and focus on other stuff. Absolutely, you should support this. When is the last time they did a double header, you know, in the daytime and nighttime or whatever with a card like this? But again, people are trying to redirect your energy to something else. Listen, don't devalue your brand based on the opinions. People on Twitter for free, you know, they can talk. Shout out to my man, Jesse. I see him right there. He said he can't wait. See, real fans are geared up for this, so it's inevitable. Support the Charlos. They're doing a great job promoting. See, this is what I'm talking about. The experience of a black fighter in America is always something. When the Charlos are fighting guys that, let's say, you didn't want to see them fight. You didn't think they were the greatest fights. They have an excuse for that. Oh, they need to step it up. Then they step it up and they have definite threat, you know, great opposition that people want to see these fights. Now the conversation, I told you, old media, shapeshifters. Now the conversation is shifted. Is this too much in the pandemic? Are we spending too much money? First, you wanted them to fight somebody. And even though they have fought someone, so that's not my standpoint. I'm just talking about the old media standpoint. They said the Charlos didn't fight who they wanted them to fight. Knowing that Canelo didn't want no smoke and franchised out, you know, knowing that Jamil is, you know, he got robbed or whatever in the Harrison fight, so he had to make that better in the politics, stuff like that. And Andre pulled out of a fight with Jamil back in the day, you know what I mean? Things like that. But none of that's in question right now. This is a great card. They're all involved in great fights. Now the narrative that old media is trying to switch to is, are we paying too much money for this great card and doubleheader? It's like they're trying to sabotage them. And I'm not with that. I can't respect that. Listen, I do live streams independently on YouTube. You guys know, you guys catch them. People send me $100 super chats just showing love. You mean to tell me, that's what I'm saying, broke-minded individuals. You mean to tell me people don't have $75 to watch a HD high-quality presentation? But people could send me $100 super chats, $50 super chats, $25. People have money. You know, don't let that. It's going to take we as a people and the fan to get the fights we want. We got to show support. You know, boxing fans can't do this. They can't have it both ways. Say, oh, I want to see the Charlos. They're entertaining. And, you know, I want to see them fight the better names in the rugged competition in their division. And they've been doing that. And they're definitely doing it in this fight. But because it's pay-per-view, $75, everybody got questions now. They trying to hate on the Charlos. I'm not with that. I'm buying the pay-per-view. You know, everybody, let me know in the comment section if you're buying the pay-per-view. I need to get a read because we're not going to let old media come and dictate the narrative for our young black American fighters or just American fighters in general. It's always some sabotage. You know, oh, Charlos don't sell, so why should they get the Canelo Golovkin fight? There's always some BS. You do not see this in the UFC. You don't see people, if Dustin Poirier is about to fight Tony Ferguson and it's a good fight, even though I know the fight's canceled, but if it's a good fight, that's just with the UFC fans. They're not really worried and in the realm of the financials. Why is that your business if it ain't your business? Think about it. Why is that your business if it ain't your business? You're not Showtime. You're not CBS. You stand to lose at most $75 if the card was horrible, which we know it's not going to be because the Charlos are always money in action. You know what I mean? But too much peanut gallery and people putting up polls. Either you're going to support or you're not going to support. My bet, my vote, I'm supporting. I definitely think you should support great boxing. And if you don't, if you're like, oh, F you, ego, I don't agree, then guess what? Guess what? Don't complain then. When you're not getting the fights you want, don't complain. Because when the company's in a pandemic, no live gate, they're already losing on that. They're already losing on that when they're not getting the live gate and stuff. And when these fights fall apart because they can't get manifested and it's cherry picks and stuff like that, then don't complain on that either. Listen, boxing fans stand up, real boxing fans stand up, order this card. We ain't playing no games. And they want to see the Charlos fail. I don't want to see boxing fail. I'm just here to tell you the truth. Now everybody like, and people, all of a sudden you got people, everybody's educated and Harvard graduated and business people. And they're saying stuff like, oh, you know, this should be a $30 card or $40, $50 card. And people making up their own prices. But guess what? That's not how it works. Because when you have big fighters with big names and brands, you got to, and no live gate, you know, because we're in a pandemic year, you got to make the money stretch and make the money do what it do. So if you can get 200,000 buys, 300, whatever the number you can get, that's going to supplement and ease the load. So you're not belly up taking a huge loss potentially. And hopefully you're profitable in that endeavor. And people keep saying, oh, if it was $40, $50, it would be more reasonable. DAZN was $9.99 a month to watch Canelo fielding, you know, and then they raised the price by 100% to $20 a month. So $20 a month to watch Canelo. And guess what? $20 a month to watch Canelo. And he's suing them because they don't want to pay him the rest of the money because it's not sustainable and it's not profitable. The Charlos, as you see on the screen, are super entertaining. So the DAZN Canelo partnership and relationship proves what I'm saying to be true, and it disproves everything that old media is saying. They're saying, oh, if this was a cheaper card, that's not a guarantee that you're going to receive a crazy influx of buys because the card's cheaper. Again, look to Canelo, look to DAZN as Exhibit A. They came out with a cheaper than pay-per-view price, but based on having a lack of promotional skills and, you know, Canelo doesn't really speak English and he's not doing what the Charlos are doing right now and promoting the fight and the showmanship, and the undercard's not stacked like this Showtime card. All those things factored in. And then DAZN, you know, they had buyer's remorse and they were not trying to pay Canelo what they agreed to. So, man, don't let the Charlos fail. Don't let anybody who's doing what they're supposed to be doing, from Leo Santa Cruz to Gervonta Davis, Errol Spence, Danny, don't let these guys fail, bro. You only see this in boxing. You only see these saboteurs and sabotage from old media in boxing. UFC, they come out with all these, they do a couple, you know, DC Cormier versus Stipe Part 3, and the price point is what it is, and you just watch it. And I see the same people who are now complaining on Twitter just watching the fight. They're not putting up polls and, you know, asking if this is worthy and stuff like that. Cut it out, man. New media, digital mob. Shout out to the Charlos. Order the pay-per-view. It's about to go down. I can't wait for this fight. Save the date, September 26th. This is going to make us work harder because we see what they're trying to do to these young black fighters, these young hungry lions, these young Americans. We're not allowing that on our watch. If you're supporting the pay-per-view, let me know in the comment section. I know y'all got it. And stop. Just support. That's it. That's all I got to say. We out. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more sports. Get unlimited access to premium content with an ESPN Plus subscription. ESPN Plus offers a variety of content, including specials, behind the scenes, docuseries like Bruce Lee's Be Water, and much more. With an ESPN Plus subscription, you get access to a ton of classic archive fights and replays from boxing and the UFC. Big names like, hi, I'm Mike Tyson, come and watch my fight. Floyd Mayweather, easy work, I'm rich. And Manny Pacquiao, yes, it's up to my promoter, just to name a few. If that's not enough, You could get the ESPN bundle, which includes ESPN Plus, Hulu, and Disney Plus. All 3 apps, one low price. You don't want to miss out. Make sure you guys click that link in the description box of all of my videos. Ego, signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.